Hello guys, welcome back to It's Danny, where we talk prayer, lifestyle, and everything towards faith. So today I'm here with
Martina. Hi
Introduce
all.
yourself.
I'm Martina. I have a ministry with my good sister Daniela. It is the Change Within podcast ministry, and I'm here today. I'm very, very excited to be here.
Okay, so today I just want to talk about like the distant voice of God. You know that time where you're just like in that place where it feels like, God, I need you the most.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Like I need you the most and I can't hear your voice. You know, this is the place where I expected your voice to be louder than usual. Like this is the place where I'm at where it's like you are the only person I want to hear.
Yeah.
But for some reason it feels like you're silent. For some reason it feels like, oh, you're literally gone, like I can't hear you. And I just wanted to ask, like, have you ever been in that type of position?
Me personally, I have been in that position in my life where I felt like I could not hear God's voice, and it was in a time where I needed his voice the most. It was a time where I was going through so much in my life. I think that time I was even going through like spiritual warfare, so the attack was heavy. It was heavy, and I was like, God, like, where are you? Like, can you not see what I'm going through? Like, I was like, God, like, you're seeing what I'm going through. Why are you allowing this to happen? And I feel like in that time then, like, I was losing faith. And I feel like faith is what needs to be the foundation of those times when you feel lonely. If you do not have faith in those times, those seasons, you're just going to be really... You'll have a mindset of doubt. You will not be able to get through the things that you need to get through because you're doubting the things God is putting you through. And you're doubting, God, like, do I even have a purpose anymore? Do I have a purpose in your kingdom? Like, am I meant to do this? Like, 100%. God, is this for me? And that time,
I feel like, you know, when you're in that time, it's just a matter of, like you said, faith, but also understanding that God has placed me in this place for a season, like, you know, a reason. Many of us, like, we get into that place and it's like, we're just so focused on the problem, but what is God trying to, like, take you through it? You get, like, what lesson is God trying to build in you? Like, what character traits is God trying to build in you? It's not always about, like, the lesson. You know, you can be chased. Bro, if you look at Psalms, David was being chased by look, bro, there was so many enemies after David each and every time, but he never really focused on the enemies. It's more of like, God, what are you trying to build in me? What is the purpose of all of this? And we understood that because of all the preparation, because of all the things that he went through, he became the greatest king. You get like it made him a good king for the people. But even when, like, I was looking at the scriptures, right, and I was looking like how Jesus, like, when he was on the cross and he said, like, Father, why have you forsaken me? And that scripture just makes me cry because it really makes you just think, wow, Jesus was human being as well.
Exactly. We forget that, like, God was actually human and he goes through the same thing we went through. And touching on what you said, like, David had to go through that stuff to be the great king that he needed to be. God puts us through things for character development. It is to build our character, but he also puts us through things to test us. He tests us and sees that, like, okay, let me put Martina through this, let me put Daniela through this and see that, does she really have the faith that she needs? It's literally putting you through that season to see, like, okay, if I send this to you, will you either look at it with a pessimistic mindset or will you look at it in a way like, how can I move from this? How can I build from this? And it's like God puts us through things to build our character, to push us forward further, to make ourselves the bigger versions that we need to make ourselves into. Even Job, like the things that Job went through, Job is literally an example of, like, so much things happened. He lost his children, he lost his land, he lost his money, everything. He was literally like got sent with the worst things ever. And during that time, he was even like questioning God. He was like, God, like, what did he even say? He was suicidal. It's like, God, curse the day I was born. Lord, why did you let this happen to me? Even the people that he had around him influenced him because, like, they didn't even have the faith that they needed to tell Job, listen, Job, God is putting you through this for a reason. And that's what we forget as Christians. God puts us through things for reasons. It's something that he has sent to us to see how we are going to approach it. What is your mindset to it? Are you really going to change or are you really going to fall back and allow Satan to work on your life?
Yes. And even like with Job, when I actually really understood, like, I read the story but like everything and I realized when he was crying it was more of like he was questioning God. And then I think when God finally answered him and said, if you can tell me how to create the sky, somewhere along the lines, then I will, honestly, I'll talk to you. And I think that's literally a scripture links to it where it says like his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Yes. His ways are higher. Like we never know exactly why he has put us in that place, but the more time we complain, and I actually learned like complaining is a sin that will take you back to the past. Because when you're complaining too much, it's like what God is doing, you're not enough. Like complaining is what sent the Israelites back to the past. Like they literally had a complaining mindset, and they had that mindset to the point where whatever God did was never enough for them. It was literally never enough. Even when it was walking through the desert, God made like he gave them food, he gave them like water when they were thirsty, when they complained, but it felt like it was never enough for them. And they always said it was better when I was a slave than now that I am free. And it gets to show that when you don't have faith, like you said, like when God places you in that desert place, it's more of God. Like you're gonna complain and ask like, what is going on? Like, is this God that I'm serving even real? Like, and that's when I think, like you said, that's when the enemy. That is when the enemy will come and just like put small things into your mind. If God really loved you, you wouldn't be going through this. If you was a faithful servant, you wouldn't really be going through this. For example, let's say someone goes to university and then they used to read the Bible every day. They used to pray every day. And then they go uni now and they stop. They say, oh, because I've prayed today, I'm not going to pray tomorrow. Because I've read my Bible today, I'm not going to read my Bible tomorrow. But what I wanted to say is that he showed us that when you do all of that, you become, first you was like this when you was praying, reading your Bible, but because now you don't do that anymore, you'll become like this. And people think because of this they're still close to God, but understand there's still space. That space there, who is like occupied, you get it? And when I heard, I was like, whoa, when you're not close like this with God, the space that is left, Satan can come and literally twist your mind. Because who is actually speaking? Many voices can come. Because you're not like this with God, when God speaks, it's like, he's so distant away, like, I can't hear God, like, is this God speaking? Is this my flesh? Do you feel like the desert season, like we always say, preparation, do you think often people want to get out of it too early? In a way?
I feel like they do, but also sometimes they don't. The reason why I say sometimes they don't is because sometimes in those desert seasons, it's more of a time where I need God to work. And it's like, if I leave too quickly, God doesn't have the right time frame to work on me.
100%.
I need God to work on me. In order for God to work to me, I need to be in his presence for as long as I can be in. And when I'm in that desert season, when I'm in that season of loneliness, that's the right time of when I can exclude all the voices out of me and just listen to God's word. I can just listen to what God is telling me to do. Because in those seasons of loneliness, that's really when you hear God's voice the clearest. That's really when God really sits you down by yourself and really wants to speak to you and you only. So that's why I feel like, in order for me to really listen to God's voice, I need to be in his presence as long as I can. So that's why even in the times of loneliness, I try not to go out of that season quickly. I try not to get out of that season quickly, because I know if I'm out of it quickly, whatever I gain from that season, it will be lost. There's not going to be true meaning in what I've learned in that season, because I've just received it and now I've worked on it, and now what? Like, that's it. I'm just gone. I've left. I haven't learned something. But I need to be in that season to really dwell in the season, dwell in God's presence, listen to what God is telling me to do, so that I can be like, wow, God, okay, this is why you put me in this season. This is why I needed to be alone with you.
I think when I first entered year 12, for 6 months, I was by myself. Literally, I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't friends with nobody. Like, I would spend my time in the study room. And at first, it was lonely. But then I realized something, because I feel like if I didn't go through that, now I would have been friends with everyone. And I wouldn't know the meaning between like bad company corrupts good character. Do you get it? I wouldn't really understand that not everyone you're supposed to be buddy with. Do you get it? And I feel like if he didn't do that as well, I would have lost my faith. And I would have like compromised my faith a lot in school. Because when you go to school, it's a challenge, especially. It is. And when God hasn't really like excluded you and put you in that desert season where it's like you and him alone, you can still have people around you. It's like, it will get to that point where it's like, God, I can tell like God is really excluding because you're no longer like messaging people.
Yes.
Bro, I'll be scrolling on my phone. I'm like, where's the messages?
I'll be like, damn, I'm really lonely. Like wow, okay, no one actually texts me. Trust me, when you stop texting people, when you stop actually texting first, you'll see like no one actually texts back. No one actually texts up on you.
One thing I was even gonna touch about was like David once again, and the times where he was just like crying. Like some of his psalms are just so, when I read it, I'm like, wow, he was depressed.
Oh my gosh, David went through it. He really went through it.
Like my boy went through it.
He went through it all. Oh my gosh,
he really did. Like I remember the times where he was just be like, God, like I just need you right now. Like where are you? Do you get what advice?
Yeah, and sometimes like God specifically just puts us through things so that we don't go to anyone else but him. Like he wants us to go to him first because he knows that if we go and now get advice from our friends, what type of advice are my friends gonna give me? Are my friends really gonna give me godly advice or worldly advice? It's like, are they really gonna push me closer to God or stray me away? So that's why I feel like God specifically wants us to go straight to him first in those seasons. 100%.
But I feel like even when you're in those seasons, you actually realize a lot of like things you never noticed before. Like, whoa, like I need to stop doing this. Like I have certain habits that are not good. You get it? And 100%. I feel like that season is a pruning season. It's like he's really changing, making you, healing you. You get it? Like certain things and you start to make you notice, like, bro, you have a jealous trait. Like,
exactly.
You're very jealous sometimes. You're very angry sometimes. You get it? Like, this is not how like you should behave as a woman of God, like as a man of God. He really gets you to understand, whoa, like I've not been living a Christian life all along.
It's true.
Do you get it? Like, I need to fix up. I need to change. Because I really deep, like the times I'm in that place, I've been pruned. Like I've come out and not been the same. Like 100%. I've gone in and there's been certain things he's changed, like surgery has happened. And you know, when you come out, it's like you're healed, like he's spiritually
spiritual surgery.
Liz, spiritual surgery. Like, he's really changed and like made you new. And it's like, whoa, like you come out and people are like,
you're like, whoa, like exactly.
Whoa, like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
This reminds me of like the story of Moses when he went out to the hill with God and he came down and his face was glowing. It just shows you when you're in that time, that was his time talking to him. Do you get it? And when there's so many voices around you, you can't hear. Like you need to really, God needs to really take you and say, bro, I need to snatch you out
because right now you're not listening. I need you to listen. I need you to listen.
Like I've been trying to tell you this thing, but you're not listening.
I know God is like, let me just grab this girl there. Let me grab you.
And then I need to talk to you. Out of the crowd, he would just grab you.
Yeah, the way God would just be like, yeah, Martina, come here, let me talk to you.
This girl is not going on the path I'm reaching.
Exactly.
You've fallen off. I need to grab you now. Come back on the path and let's talk. Literally, come back and let's go back to the basics. You know?
As well, like I was just in a season of loneliness as well. Like I was in a time because obviously I moved from my school and I was in a new school, so it was a new environment, everything, and I was just in a season of loneliness. Like I didn't know what to do. I was so segregated and I was still trying to get like approval, like compromising in school, approval from people around me. So like I was so focused on getting that approval of people around me that I didn't get approval from God. What you learn from your season of loneliness is like apply it to your life every day. Do not let it just be in that season there that, okay, I've learned this now, let me apply it now and not apply it in the future. You need to apply it in your everyday life. It should be a lifestyle.
Do you have any final words?
I would say to anyone who's in their season of loneliness right now, anyone who feels like God's voice is not there, I would say just really, really allow God to be the faith. Allow God to be at the center of your heart, because God is the branches, he's the fruit, he's the vine, he's the tree that we need, he's the source that we need to be able to move. And if we do not have him as the source in our lives, then you really cannot have that active faith to move. 100%. You'll really be in a position of your life in stagnancy, being like, why am I not moving? Why isn't God pushing me forward? It's because you have so little faith, and God is telling you, have the faith that I have put in you. That little faith can go big. It can take you bigger to big places, bigger and better. So I would say to anyone who's in a season of loneliness right now, or feel like they cannot hear God's voice, please go into your word, read your word, have that faith, because God will not put anyone through something he knows that they cannot withstand.
100%.
He will not put you in a position where he knows that my daughter or my son cannot go through this. He puts us in seasons and times to really build our character and to really say, okay, let me put this person through this to see if they have the faith, if they have that faith to move mountains, if they have that faith to break bondages, break cycles. See, guys, we are spiritually anointed. You just need to really carry that faith in you. The same faith that everyone in the Bible had, Abraham had. At the end, like, the devil saw how faithful Job was, and that's why he had tempted him with that. So it's like, guys, do not lose your faith. Keep grounded in God's word.
I would just say, let God really like show you the purpose. Don't focus your eyes, we don't walk by sight, but we walk by faith. Like, don't look at the sight of the problem. Look at it with faith. Like, what is God trying to show me? Like, what is the whole purpose? You get, like, I'm in this season, but what am I bringing out of this season? And I would say that God never leaves. Like, that's one thing I've learned. Like, when you feel like you're sitting alone in that dark place, and it's like, God, I need you this moment. It's like, people around me are literally laughing at me, because it's like, I'm claiming to have this God, or like, I'm claiming that I serve God, but when I need you the most, where are you? Do you get, like, when I want you the most, where are you? And you just have to understand that God is always there. God never leaves. He never forsakes you. That's his promise to you. He said that he will never leave nor forsake you, so you have to hold that to you. When you don't hear him, it's like, what can I do to reach him now? What can I do to reach the voice of God? What can I do to reach the heart of God? Like, what is it that I need to go? What lengths should I go? Like, there is something that obviously he wants me to do. And I think sometimes understood that if God keeps telling you to do something and you refuse to do it, his voice can seem like it's disappeared. Do you get it? I never really deep that. Like, I really never deep that. Even the Holy just spoke to me, right? Like, I never deep that. But when you've like he's been telling you, it gets to the point where you've heard it, but because you've disobeyed, that means your heart has gone close to it. So when God is speaking, your heart is closed off, and because your heart is closed off, that means that you can't hear, and it feels like, God, I can't hear your voice. You're not there anymore, but he's speaking. It's just that it's not the thing that you want. So because it's not the thing that you want, your heart has already closed it off. So I will 100% say, have that promise that God is with you. He is your friend. He is your like lover. He is just with you. He will always be with you. But it's just a matter of everyone has to go through that with wilderness season so that he can prune and make you the woman and man of God that he wants you to be. But like, if we don't really go through this, we wouldn't understand who we are and what our purpose is, or we will be the same. And God doesn't just make same men, he makes great men. You get, always change. He doesn't want you to stay the same as you was 21 years ago. Like, he doesn't want you to be 2001 girl. Like, he wants you to be the 2023 version of you. Do you get? Like, he wants a change and improved you. That's why he always has to take us through that place, and also understand that it's for the greater purpose that has for you to be, or like the purpose that he has for you to be is greater, and it can't go with who you are right now. I really understand that. It can't go with the mindset that you have right now. It can't go with like the character that you have right now. That's just all we got.
That's all we have today.
She'll come back soon, guys. Don't worry.
Very, very soon.
Don't worry.
But it was lovely. It was lovely.
Really
lovely being here. And yeah, guys, just continue to stay blessed. Keep in your word. I feel like with me and Daniela, it's evident that if we did not go through what we needed to go through, we wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't be in this position.
100%.
So just know that whatever God has for you in store is for the better. Like Daniela said, it is to help us. And I hope you guys have been blessed by this video. I'm here speaking like it's my video, but anyways, I hope you guys been blessed. I hope you guys have been anointed. You guys got a word from this. You guys have learned something from this. Me and Daniela have been through this. We're human. It happens to everyone. But
but that's not the end.
It's not the end. Like, God has so much in store for you. God has a purpose for you. He has a calling for you. It's just about, what are you willing to do for him? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to change? Or are you willing to stay who you are? And guys, we want to thank you. Bye.